All right.
Wait, no, I need to intro this segment. I'll turn it off
Yeah,
in a second.
yeah. Do you want to
I
intro?
think I get 5-minute gaps between them, and I thought I had more time.
Go on. Intro this segment. Intro
Okay.
the big special.
Screw the Game Awards, that event that we spent so long talking about in the last few weeks. Screw them. It's time for the awards that really matter as we present Big Year in Gaming's Big Year in Awards 2021. So we did this last year. Changed it up a little bit this year, but we have tried to keep majority of the categories the same. There's 16 categories. Do we want to have a quick run through of what the categories are? Because
why not?
I think it'll set things up.
Why not?
So
go.
Actually, Mike, I've talked a lot in this segment. Do you want to run through while I turn this beaker off?
Let's do it. So, first category we have is the biggest big story of the year. Then we have the second category is the biggest small story of the year. Third category is CDPR presents biggest I am disappoint of the year. Fourth category is the biggest face of the year. So this is a person or company to be celebrated. Fifth category is biggest heel of the year. This is the villain of the year. Who will that be? Sixth category is the biggest mic drop of the year. That's the announcements that took us all by surprise. Seventh category is the biggest broken record of the year. Who will that be? Eighth category is Integot's biggest amiibo of the year, because we all know he really hates amiibos.
Oh crap! I capitalized amiibo there. Sorry.
No,
I lost my amiibo
amiibos.
license. Sorry.
Ninth is Mike's biggest Souls-inspired Souls-like Metroidvania game of the year. Stay tuned to see
populated. I love it.
which of the... There's a lot this year. 10th is Swinny's biggest Paper Mario clone of the year. He has played a lot of those too. 11th is Integot's biggest game of 2021. Just give it to Metroid already. 12th is Mike's biggest game of 2021. Gosh, Mike doesn't even know what he's going to give it to, but he'll find out in a few minutes. 13th.
I like the time porn narrative is just wrecking Mike. I love it.
13th is Swinny's biggest game of 2021.
Are they all
Will it be an
RPGs? They are, aren't
RPG?
they? Shit.
Damn it, they are.
And
Would have been
even
good.
the honorable mentions as well.
Dude, please.
And
Please.
the honorable mentions.
Please.
Well, he
dude.
hasn't really
Please.
played anything else,
Seek
has he?
help.
14th. Biggest game none of us played of the year.
That's a good one.
Quite a few good
Although
ones.
let's get into it later. But yeah, go on. All right, 15.
Number 15, which is second last. Biggest Don't Forget Me games. Games that didn't get a nom-nom, but are worth giving a shout. And number
the big
16
one.
is The Big Week in Gaming's biggest game of the year.
So we kind of saw a flaw, in my opinion, when we looked through the 2020 list and we sort of realized we didn't say what the biggest game, like what our game of the year is. It's just big game and small game.
Our idea last year was, before Mike came on board, and I'll get to that in a second, but we'd played none of the biggest games of the year.
That's true.
So Mike was the only person who played really any of them.
It's the only reason they got me on the show.
But that's different this year.
Pretty
We've actually
much.
played a lot of what
We
people
have.
consider the best games of the year. So
Yeah.
let's give a Game of the Year award.
And I think
finally.
Swinny also went to hospital, so that's why you're on the show. Damn you, one hospital
Yeah, that's
trip.
true. That's what happens.
All right, let's
But
get
yeah.
stuck into it. I love this
Yeah,
format,
let's do it.
Swinny. I
Let's
like
go.
it. You got your little star that we can put on each one.
Beautiful.
I'm
Let's get
driving
into
it,
the
so
first one.
I can pick whatever wins.
Correct.
So it's very powerful. So the first category, big story of the year. Stories that move the needle. Last year's winner was Microsoft buying ZeniMax. This year, the nominees are Activision Blizzard's Culture, Apple versus Epic's Face Off, Facebook becomes Meta. I feel like you're trying to screw me with it, the way you're written here, Swinny. Sony buys Evo, and Valve announces the Steam Deck. I feel like this is an easy one, but what do you want to
Is
do?
it? Yeah.
I'd say we've got a couple of honorable mentions as well. The Switch OLED, Switch Pro crap, and
Yep.
the GameStop stock craze, which feels like years
That
ago.
was
at
this
this
year?
point.
Jeez.
Yeah.
man.
Wow.
Yeah, no Switch Pro was kind of like, yeah, anyway, we'll probably cover it later, right? So I feel like Activision Blizzard has to be the biggest one.
I I kind of agree simply because, sorry, Mike, I know you're about to say something. First of all, Apple versus Epic was, so that started last year in terms of everything happening, but this year it continued, but that's also when the court case happened.
Yeah.
So it's it's dragged across 2 years. It's still big, but I kind of agree. I think Activision Blizzard, even though we didn't really cover everything in detail directly, we covered delays and stuff, was still probably the biggest story, I think.
I think top 3 publisher, so many people have like left the company, like at a very senior level, CEO and co-founder, basically, 25% shareholder is under insane pressure. Bobby Kotick, like, I don't know. I feel like other ones are bigger to me, but this is the biggest. Like, this is in Wall Street Journal. This is like, this is actual mainstream news, right? Whereas the other ones aren't as much.
It's caused, like share price changes. It's massive game delays of Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4.
What do you reckon, like?
Maybe cultural shifts. Okay, so from a personal perspective, I would say, the announcement of the Steam Deck is my number one, but that's not moving the needle overall, and we don't really have anything to play with. I think next year this might be the biggest thing, right? Facebook becoming Meta, I think could have massive repercussions on society moving forward. Again, is it something that's moved the needle at the moment? Probably not. Will it be something that will be massive later on? Absolutely. It's going to be a huge ripple effect. Apple versus Epic, yeah, look, that was a big story. We covered it quite a bit as well. But I think ultimately, because of what I think Activision has stood for over the last, I don't know how many years, I used to be huge into their games, and then I realized all they do is they just try to get people hooked, turn them into zombies of their games. And that is a rotten, in my opinion, that is an absolutely rotten culture to begin with. So it's no surprise to me that internally the culture also had issues. So to me, that's definitely the biggest story. And I think it might also have pretty big repercussions on the rest of the gaming industry in terms of some of these companies not getting away with some of this shit. So yeah, I'm going to go with Activision Blizzard culture as well.
Awesome. All right, well, just lock yourself in, viewers. If there's 16 categories, 15 to go. If we have a 5-minute
we might want to just
we might be in.
No, but come on, you guys. I had a fair share. We all got a fair share.
This is what we're here to do, man. It's what we're here to do.
All right, category 2.
I'm so glad there's an award for you coming up.
I hereby suggest we change this category next year to Activision Blizzard Presents Biggest Big Story.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
All right, category number 2. Biggest small story of the year. Niche stories or one that kind of went under the radar. Kojima and Blue Box Conspiracy. No, new DLC for old games, Quake and Amala. Nier Automata's Final Secret, PAX Australia getting cancelled, and The Workboy Uncovered. So last year's winner was the Melee rollback mod Slippy. Very, very good winner. Any standouts in this category out of the nominees?
To me, it's the Kojima Blue Box Conspiracy that I still have no freaking idea what's going on with it. The mystery remains. It definitely got me hooked, trying to figure out what's going on.
For me, Nier Automata's Final Secret being discovered at the start of the year, I love that. There's something about it that was just very cool.
I'm in pain because they're the two front runners for me.
Who will you side with? Where is your loyalty?
The Nier Automata thing is so cool, and I actually used it myself to fast track the completion of it, which was really fun. I gotta say Kojima and Blue Box because it's the weirdest shit ever.
We still don't know. We still don't know
exactly
what's going on.
They had a trailer for, but no, what was the whole thing about the teaser trailer?
I downloaded it, and then it's like a trailer within the app, and then like basically saying there's a teaser to something else in the future. It's like, what?
And we still don't know. We still
don't know. That was
don't
the
know.
last thing.
All right, I reckon
fair enough.
It's awesome. That. But just a couple of really quick honorable mentions because I think they're worthwhile. Lucasfilm Games being revived, I think, is really cool because some good stuff and hopefully cool new stuff coming out of that as well. And Roblox being valued at nearly 42 billion is insane. I recently watched a documentary analyzing, well, it wasn't a documentary, it was one of those
People Make Games.
People Make Games, exactly, talking about Roblox. And it is absolutely freaking disgusting what that company does.
Can I just say, like, the the PAX Australia thing was a real bummer that we haven't
That
really
was a
talked
real
about
bummer.
that much.
Yeah.
Like I was flying from Sydney to Melbourne to catch up with you guys. It was like, it's gonna be cool to do a show in person for the first time. It's gonna be pretty wild. And yeah, like it feels like a million years ago, but that was only gonna be like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Like that is insane. If you say it was gonna be 2 months
baby.
ago, like far out. The world is
Crazy
just
year.
very weird at the moment. Category number 3, CDPR,
CDPR.
presents biggest I am disappoint of the year. Disappointment in a game or developers / publisher. So CDPR did win this last year for their absolute mismanagement of the launch of Cyberpunk 2077. This year we have Analog Pocket and other handheld delays. Echo Generation is meh. No next gen games. No Switch Pro. And Switch N64 emulation is trash. And there's a lot of honorable mentions
What do you
in
guys
this one, right?
think? I know what I'm going for.
I know what I'm going for. I went last time.
All right, I'll go first. To me, it's the No Switch Pro.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 2 of us.
Because
well, you
that was
gotta-
just like
No,
the biggest
Mike,
wet fart
you
ever
idiot.
that we didn't get anything.
You guys are going
Really?
to have some showmanship here. Mike, if you
All
know you're
right,
going to
okay,
say
I'm
Switch
sorry.
Pro, you go,
Wait, I'll take it
you go
back.
first, Integot, because you know what your answer is.
I don't like.
Okay, can I lobby
know,
you? Can I lobby you,
teasing
Mike?
people.
Can I lobby you before you
Sure,
lock in?
lobby me. Okay.
I 100%
I'm easy to
think
purchase.
it should be no next-gen games. We are in a full year of the life cycle of the next generation, and there's still no single game that goes, you need to buy these consoles to play this game. It is very disappointing. The games
Okay.
pretty much look as good
Okay,
on the One X or PS4 Pro than they do on the PS5 and the Series X. It's marginal at best.
Yeah, no,
And
you're right.
it's damning. It's like, and they're even basically saying into next year, they're going to be available on everything, cross-platform. Great for
totally
people
agree.
who already own the old gen, but you know, I'm the most disappointed in that. There's no
You
standout
make-
games.
You make an absolutely solid point, but no, it's the lack of a Switch
One
Pro.
last point. One last point to the jury. The Switch Pro, Nintendo never said that there's going to be a Switch Pro. If anything, they said there's not going to be a Switch Pro. So the disappointment is in all what we've
Yeah, but
generated
hang on.
unfairly.
But that's not how disappointment works. I never told
Moving on.
my girlfriend
Category
when we
4.
first met
Category 4.
that I had an 8-inch
The biggest
pianist,
face of the year.
but it turns out
person
she thought I did.
or company
just 'cause
to
I'm,
be
you know,
celebrated.
tallish.
All right, let's say that again.
So the category 4, biggest face of the year, person or company to be celebrated. So last year's winner was The Last of Us Part 2's accessibility options. And nominees are more accessibility options in AAA games. View Nia, Droken, Masahiro Sakurai, and the Xbox Game Pass. You definitely can tell that Swinny put this one in here. But
Total face of the year.
so what are we saying? Who's
An
the
honorable mention is Joe Jives.
Oh, okay. Nice. We were struggling to populate this, I must admit.
I went first last time, but I'm happy to go first.
Well, you
again
go
if
first
want.
this
go-
time,
go
Mike,
first.
because you haven't gone first.
Oh, look. So definitely honorable mention Joe Jives. Got to give him that one. He's a long-time listener and fan of the podcast. Look, there's a lot of good categories like Xbox Game Pass has been fantastic. Lots of good shit coming out. But to me, I think it's a personal favorite, which is Droken. The fact that, you know, we played quite a few of the games, got free codes, engaged with us. I think it's really cool. I think it's really awesome to have someone at, you know, the genesis of this amazing podcast that we have, to actually have a person be a fan of the stuff that we do as well. So that's it for me, definitely.
How about you, Swinny?
To me, my face of the year is Masahiro Sakurai, the head of Smash Brothers, the director of Smash Brothers, all the Smash Brothers games, finally delivered. You know, like wrapped up Smash Brothers Ultimate this year by adding Sora, which is just wild. To me, like it's almost like a lifetime achievement nomination for me. It's like I reckon he did, and he deserves the rest. You know, the break. I just reckon he was my favorite dude of the year. So
Got to inaugurate into the Swinny Hall of Fame.
So for me, I was going to say Bure, Nia, they're passing this year. I genuinely think out of everyone in the Super Nintendo sort of community, development community, did the most out of anyone. And also sort of really push the cause for software emulation to be cycle accurate. Rivaling things like FPGAs that you see in the Mister and the Analog Pocket and other analog devices. So we're at an impasse. We're all going for 3 different people.
Oh, that's a
Is there anyone who's sort of like, I'm more on the side of like Sakurai, but you guys earring on the side of anyone else?
No, my second choice would have definitely been Nier as well.
Okay.
Even though it personally hasn't impacted me in the sense of I'm not into the scene, but I respect what he's done to the community.
I'm cool with that as well. When we had the story that I think was on was it Vice or was it Waypoint
Vice,
or
yeah,
Waypoint,
yeah.
Vice is Waypoint. But yeah, talking about the work that they did on Bahamut Lagoon and everything. Yeah, I think that's great. I think they should
All right, let's do it.
should win.
Category 5. This is the fun one. Biggest heel of the year. Very wrestling inspired here, Swinny. Villain of the year. So last year we had Facebook's mandatory account for Oculus, and resulting in me never buying an Oculus, and I refuse to buy an Oculus. So we'll go through the nominees. Activision Blizzard / Bobby Kotick, Console Scalpers, COVID-19 again, or COVID-19 2, Electric Boogaloo, GTA Definitive Edition Trilogy. I think it's GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. I think that's what it is, Swinny.
Yes,
That's
Get it
fair
right.
enough. Fair enough.
And NFTs, which is kind of recent, but it's blown up. So
But it's blown up massively.
I know,
hasn't
it's
it?
absolutely blown up. Any early front runners here?
Oh boy. So honorable mentions. We have CD Projekt Red, because we know why. Ubisoft, because we also know why. And integot, and integot. Oh, and integot.
And Swinny, he's a bigger arsehole than me, I think.
Yeah, but he's all right. He's all right.
I like that. He might be a bigger arsehole, but he's all right.
I was the biggest heel of the year of our channel.
That's true.
For
That's
Odyssey,
true.
that's about it.
So look, personally, it's a tie between NFTs and Activision Blizzard / Bobby,
Okay.
but I'm gonna have to give it to NFTs.
Really?
It's just
Damn.
absolutely. It's trash. Everyone's jumping on the bullshit bandwagon for absolutely no real proper reason, and they never justify it. They never explain why. It's just a bandwagon thing, and the impact to society, the impact to the environment, they don't give a shit about any of that. It's all about the bottom line, much I guess like Bobby, but it's NFTs, no doubt for me.
Okay. Swinny?
What about you guys?
I'm also going for NFTs because
Really?
just even though it's very recent, anytime NFTs are brought up at all, the outcry is immediate. There's like it's like
Community hates them.
we'd mentioned in 1 min for the Swin, Stalker 2 devs, as soon as they announced it, and the concept wasn't actually that bad. It's, hey, you can essentially buy your way into being an NPC in the game, which has been done before, but usually through other means. But as soon as I mentioned it had anything to do with NFTs, it's like, bang, the outcry, and they reverse that decision. And the fact that Molyneux's getting into it as well. But Ubisoft is probably the worst thing. Like they took down their channel for this. Like it to me, even though it's relatively recent in comparison to everything else, I think that feels like the right choice for me this year.
Yeah, I disagree
what
with
do
you
you
guys.
think,
I definitely think GTA, the trilogy, the definitive edition is like by far the game, like the thing that should be the biggest heel of the year. I've already put it as the NFTs, but from GTA's perspective, like for me, I'm not a PlayStation player, but GTA 3 and that trilogy as well, it's like one of the, you could go like in 100 years time from now and go, that is one of the games you'll talk about. It's like the Beatles, right? And just like with the Beatles remastering all their records, they get it right. They remaster it, they produce it perfectly. People listen to it and go, shit, this is awesome, right? A lot of people haven't played those games, and then they release this trash. It's absolutely like embarrassing into the market. And to me, and it's actually a bit of a mockery on our industry, because it's like to treat like something that to me is like, I'm not saying it's the Beatles, but it's like in that category, and then release utter rubbish like they have. It's shameful. And it fits the definition for me. It's biggest heel.
So I'm changing my vote to Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
Reason being, and I deleted the thing from it. I'd forgotten that They had to take the game down because they left all the like unlisted, and it was like, I kind of like, I think that is actually makes sense to me now that GTA is actually the biggest.
Okay,
I
well
think-
there you go.
you've-
Controversial.
You've won me
Mike.
over.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Mike, are you? Are we going for
Easy
that?
to sway
Well, it's
Swinny.
2-1,
Oh, look,
2-1,
it's 2 to
so-
1. I don't have a choice. I'm still
Yeah.
sticking to NFTs.
okay.
They're the bane of my.
We're
Well,
saying
not
we
really,
approve
but-
NFTs. Can I get a tick emoji
That's
No.
basically what you guys are saying.
here? Category 6. Biggest mic drop of the year. Announcements that took us by surprise. Last year's winner was Demon's Souls Remake, which I'm kind of actually surprised that was our winner. So the category nominees are Chris Pratt and the Mario movie cast, Game Builder Garage, Metroid Dread, Sora in Smash Brothers, and the Valve Steam Deck. I think this one will be contentious. There's some pretty chunky, couple of chunky announcements here.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go on.
There's two that I'm kind of moving back and forth on. One is the Mario movie cast,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that was so unexpected. But also Metroid Dread was like, I know we had some slight like, you know, rumors before it, but like even counting that, it was still like, here's a new 2D Metroid that's Metroid 5. Have it, you bastards. You know, the others I can kind of like, I wasn't as taken aback by. Like a Valve Steam Deck makes sense. They've kind of, you know, played around with like, you know, the Steam boxes and all that stuff in the past that are different, but I kind of see that. Sora in Smash Brothers, that I can also see that, even though obviously that was great. Game Builder Garage was surprised, but to me it's those other two.
So you're saying
Interesting.
Dread?
I'm saying I like both of those, so I'm interested to see where you guys say.
Okay. Who do you want to go first, Mike? Me or you? I went last time, so I guess I'll go next.
There you go. You go.
For me, it's the three. It's the Mario movie cast, Dread, and the Steam Deck. I think the Mario movie cast one was the most fun. Like, we watched it live as it was getting announced. It was hilarious. But in retrospect, it's kind of like, yeah, it was surprising, but it's not that surprising. You know, a lot of these folks, like Chris Pratt's been in every like Lego movie. Like, he's the star of like a lot of these animation stuff. So it's kind of like maybe not that shocking. But Dread and Steam Deck were both pretty shocking to me. Like, I think Steam Deck's more just like, I really think it's cool. Whereas Dread, it's like, I just kind of never thought it would happen. That they would resurrect that brand, that idea, have a proper Metroid 5. So I'm definitely locking in on Metroid Dread.
I'll just say, especially with Metroid Prime 4
Yeah,
still
around
in
the corner,
production,
right? Yeah.
you know, and then have that in the middle.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Mike?
So Metroid Dread wasn't a surprise to me, as you guys know, because I predicted it. So can't have that one, obviously.
Well said.
So look, to me, it's the Steam Deck. I really didn't think they were going to do that. I heard nothing about it. Firstly, and secondly, it's something I really want. I have to be honest with you. I don't really care about a Mario movie. Couldn't give a shit less. You can predict the formula right now because it's going to have exactly this basic 3-act story arc and
All right. Well,
whatever.
can
But
we
anyway,
do this? In
whereas
a really off week, can we all try to predict what we think the Mario movie is going to be? And we'll all pitch what it is.
okay,
That
yeah, let's
sounds
do
horrible
it.
to
We'll
me.
pitch it. Yeah.
What is it? Okay, Mike and I will do it then. You
We'll
bastard.
do it. Okay.
You prick, Swinny.
But Mike, you said the Steam Deck, like that was rumored for months and months and months.
I didn't
Nah,
really
you-
know much about it.
Mike and I don't spend time on
It was
Resetera.
that was
like
one of the
you
worst
do.
kept secrets of this year.
Nah,
Oh, well,
you're
it
in
worked
the
for me.
you're in the,
I didn't know
the
about it.
weeds in the
Okay,
leaking
okay.
community. You're getting leaked all over.
I pay attention.
Pay
Okay.
attention.
But to me, genuinely, it came by surprise. I didn't. I
All right,
didn't
so
know
what are
it
we
was
doing? You're saying
coming.
Steam Deck. I'm saying Dread. What are you
Definitely
saying?
Steam
Swinny?
Deck.
I say Dread.
Oh, okay. I feel like
Cool.
we're just bullying
Too
you on
easy.
these ones.
Oh, it's the benefit of having three people.
Yeah,
That is
that's
the
fine.
benefit. It's the
That's how it
deal.
works, yeah.
It is. I'm going to be hurt with Game of the Year. But anyway, category number 7, biggest broken record of the year. The game, question mark, that we talked about the most on the podcast. So the nominees are Analog Pocket, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk 2077, Resident Evil Village, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is the exact time I wish that we had like more production value or something where I could have clips of you saying Assassin's Creed, all like just Assassin's Creed, and me saying analog pocket, analog.
Resident Evil Village is just there solely because Mike, for like 4 weeks straight,
That's true.
kept bringing it up in our banter section. But I don't think that, like, I think we brought up the other games up way more.
No, I think we did.
And Control was a winner
Control
last
was
year.
a winner last year. Good point.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna jump in on this one and say, initially when I thought, oh my god, these guys can't keep talking about bloody Smash Brothers.
Oh really?
We did talk about Smash Brothers a lot.
Smash Brothers every week.
Really?
Oh,
Okay,
new character
interesting.
this, new character that. This person did
We
this.
do talk about it, like for a general gaming
So-
podcast. We talk about it like an excessive amount.
I honestly think that there is a small chance that Swinny, at least, probably integot as well, has a picture of Sakurai above their beds.
Sakurai,
And
that's what I call him.
they jerk off to him.
All right, let's not.
All right,
no,
dude.
Like
no,
very
no.
nice.
Okay.
Are we just gonna say
thank God
Smash
most
Brothers?
people aren't going to watch that far into this clip. So what are we saying?
Smash Brothers, I guess.
I'm cool with Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'll concede defeat on there. I don't like. I think all these three were very close. The Pocket,
Yeah,
Valhalla, and
they were
Cyberpunk.
close, yeah.
Cyberpunk just kind of kept it coming up all the time. But yeah.
That was much more. We talked about that a lot more at the end of last year. So, but yeah.
All right, now we're getting into our three specific categories before we get into our three specific games, and then get on to some of the big juicy categories. So, category number 8, my biggest amiibo of the year. So 2021 was the comeback baby of amiibo. Everyone thought it was dead. I was a believer. In 2022, we've got another 8 amiibo coming. It's alive. The dream is alive. It will never die. It will never die. So last year, I crowned Joker as the greatest amiibo of 2020. This year, the nominees are Banjo-Kazooie, Cat Mario and Cat Peach, Magna Marlowe, Samus and Emmy, and Zelda and Loftwing. Now, I will clarify, being the nerd that I am, Cat Mario and Cat Peach are 2 separate amiibo. And then Samus and Emmy are 2 separate amiibo. They're in a dual pack.
They're in a pack, yeah.
So,
okay. Wait,
but you
I
can
have
get them
one.
separate as well. But I
All
just
right.
put them together.
So my vote goes to
No, fuck off. Now, I think Banjo-Kazooie is like the one that everyone was like praying for and hoping for.
Yeah, I've got that too, Mike.
I think, yeah, Magna Marlowe is like a really cool one in person. It doesn't come off as well. Cat Mario is awesome. Like, there's a like really cool flicking of the fur to make it. But and Samus, yeah, the one that Mike was just showing is awesome. But I have to give it to Zelda and Loftwing. It's just like the art style, the way it looks. It just looks really, really cool. So I'm giving it to Zelda and Loftwing. I'm really looking forward to next year's ones. There's Steve. There's like a whole bunch next year, so it's gonna be fascinating. Fascinating. Category number 9, Mike's biggest Souls-inspired Souls-like Metroidvania of the year. Brackets, any game Mike played. Last year's winner was Blasphemous.
pretty much.
This year the nominees are Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights, Grime, Metroid Dread, Record of Lotus War, Deadlit in Wonderland. Oh, I don't know. Deedlit
get it right,
in
mate.
Wonder Labyrinth.
Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth.
I spelled
And
Labyrinth
Super
wrong.
Metroid. It made me
And-
laugh.
Okay, so we have a small list of honorable mentions because I did play a whole bunch of other games, and this is just a fraction, I reckon, of the types of games that of the games that I played. So I played Axiom Verge again this year, even though it came out a previous
Axiom
year.
Verge 1?
Axiom Verge 2. Yeah, number 1, I clocked it again. Number 2, I clocked as well. Hellpoint, which I never finished. Sultan Sanctuary. And Vigil, The Longest Night. They were
No,
also in the running.
So the funny thing is, last year, Vigil and Salt Sanctuary were also
Yeah,
nominated.
they were also there
last year.
because I kept playing them.
Fair enough.
So what we have as the winner, I shouldn't be pointing to it, but it is Ender Lilies.
Oh,
I know,
nice.
yeah. Look,
For
I love
shame you did
I
not
love-
produce Super Metroid.
well I should maybe I should, but look, let's be honest. I appreciate it for what it is, but it's certainly by today's standards of these kind of games not as good.
Wow.
if that
Okay.
makes
Now
sense.
I'm
So-
moving
Yeah, right.
this thing.
I don't
over
mean
here.
to. I don't mean to offend you guys.
Delete it.
Hey, no, wait. Hey, come back. Look, you guys saw. I love the game. Absolutely love the game.
Dude,
and I
I
love the
reviewed
fact that
this
it was
game. It's
the
on Metacritic.
genesis of the genre, really. But I just think, in terms of which experience did I enjoy the most, which did I like the most, which one was new and brought something new to the scene. It's got to be Ender Lilies. It was definitely my favorite of the lot. And look, maybe Grime when I get closer to finishing it. I think I'm getting there. I'm putting quite a few hours into it. It might change my mind, but I think Ender Lilies is going to stay the winner.
Nice. Ender Lilies. Great game. What did I give it? 9 out of 10 for Vooks. Very good game. Great game. Number 10. Swinny's biggest Paper Mario clone of the year. And Swinny has played a lot of them. Last year's winner, what was it, Swinny? It's not here.
Not there, because last year it was
The category.
Swinny's Smash Main of the year, which was Byla. So
Oh, really? You guys were talking. Oh.
The nominees are Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling, Citizens of Space, Echo Generation, Steven Universe, Unleash the Light, and Underhero. Swinny.
So I had an Oprah light bulb moment last night. I'm like, what are these? What
You
could
get an
call it?
award. You get an award.
They all get an award.
Like, what could you call these games? And I think I've coined a term. I love it.
Oh,
It's super taggy, but I love it. I'm going to change the name of this category.
Oh,
this
that
is the
allowed?
edit on the show.
is
Here
that
we
is
go.
that allowed?
Swinny's
This
biggest
is unprecedented.
reaction RPG of the year, because
Reaction
it's all
RPG,
about reaction and timing.
Okay.
And it's a play on the term action RPG. I love it.
Oh, I like that. That's actually really
So-
cool. Yeah.
All these games, like Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario before them, are based on, hey, I have to press the timing properly in turn-based battles to attack. And of all the games I played this year, Bug Fables: The Everlasting Sapling was by far the best of that kind of game. And it's also the closest to Paper Mario. It is essentially a Paper Mario pseudo
Coincidence?
sequel.
I think not.
And I think it's amazing.
I thought it was going to be Echo Generation.
Yeah, I had to put that there because I needed a fifth one.
Round it up. Yeah,
Come on, it wasn't
Bug
that
Fables
bad.
is available as part of Xbox Game Pass. Is that correct?
I think it's been removed now. It was originally. Yeah.
Cut.
I could be maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, now we're getting into our biggest games of the year. So these are our personal games of the year, and these don't necessarily need to be released this year. This is just games that we've played this year that we want to note. So my biggest game of the year, just give it to Metroid already, it says here in the notes. Astro's Playroom, Bowser's Fury, Hades, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, and Metroid Dread. You know, I genuinely have not decided yet. So I almost need to eliminate on the show.
You're worse than I am.
Bowser's Fury, I love that so much. It's too tiny to win like the whole thing. Astro's Playroom, fantastic. Absolutely love it. But it does feel a bit weird because it is a pack in ultimately, and it's, fairly short. And I've played the hell out of it and gotten top 500 in the world for the speed run of it and all this other stuff. But it's like,
So it's not your biggest game, even though you spent.
For a game that's played by millions of people, that's pretty good.
That's very impressive. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was on day one in Australia when only 500 people played. So, but I just, I probably couldn't put it there. I kind of want to put Hyrule Warriors. I kind of want Hyrule Warriors to win because I love that. That's the one I love the most this year. Hades or Metroid Dread? I gotta give it to Metroid Dread. Sorry.
Didn't see that one coming.
What I will say though is it's super close. Like if I could split it, I would actually split it with Hades and Metroid Dread. Hades is an awesome, awesome game. Like it is just freaking awesome. Like I will end up buying it again on the Switch. It's just amazing. Like such a cool game. I actually kind of regret playing it in Game Pass because it doesn't carry over anywhere. Like the progress. So it's like, and I've beaten it so many times. I'm like, oh my God, I was actually going to buy it on Steam so then I could transfer the save and then get it onto the Switch. That's how much I like that game. It's a freaking awesome game. Well done. Anyway, going on to category 12, Mike's biggest game of 2021. Wasn't too time poor to play these. The 5 nominees are Cyberpunk 2077, Death's Door, Metro Exodus, Resident Evil Village, and Unpacking. Mike.
And the winner goes to. Just opening the package.
Is he doing this-
Cyberpunk 2077.
Whoa, nice.
You gonna say anything more than that? Or I'm just gonna go on to category 13.
No, that's it.
Okay, category 13.
Wow.
Swinny's biggest game of 2021. He wants to go to bed. All the RPGs. What a shocker. There's 5 categories. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling, Cyberpunk 2077, Hellpoint, and Tales of Arise. Swinny.
Oh man, this is so tough. I'll just mention my honorable mentions: Arafel Enhanced Edition, Armed Meth, Evoland Legendary Edition, and Near Replicant. All great. Man, this is so tough. I've gone back and forth all day about this. Part of me wants to say Cyberpunk.
I was thinking you're going to say Cyberpunk,
Part of me wants to say Cyberpunk.
Contrarian.
No, it's not. I love the game, right?
It's
but
on the list,
but
so part of you would have to.
Yeah, and Tales of Arise was so magical, but Tales of Arise falls off at the end, so it's kind of like I have to say my game is Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
No, it can't be. Really?
That game is mad.
Yeah.
I had such
Wow.
a
That
magical
game.
experience
Yeah.
playing that game. I love it so much.
You are a true Assassin's Creed fan.
He is.
That is
It's a great one of those, and I will say that my appreciation of that game has only grown since I've actually stopped. It's like I kind of now appreciate it a lot more, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Category 14, biggest game none of us played this year. So big games we didn't play yet. So I think last year's winner I played this year. So Half-Life Alyx is what we gave it last year, and then almost immediately proceeded to play it, which is a freaking awesome game. I actually was thinking of putting it in my top 5. So the nominees are Deathloop, Inscription, It Takes Two, Hitman 3, and Eastwood. Any key standouts here?
Yeah, all 5. But
I feel like
Chris,
It Takes
you wanna go,
Two,
Swinny?
right? One game of the year. None of us played it.
I mean, that's a strong contender. I do think it's the fact that none of us played Deathloop is, I think, a bit shitty as well.
Well, I'm going to play it next year when it goes on Game Pass for free.
I'm happy to give it to Takes Two. Mike, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go with Deathloop.
So I was going to say Eastwood.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what Eastwood I said, I'm
Because
really
we were
looking forward to
that.
it.
Yeah, I do remember you saying that.
And
But
then
no,
it
I'm
came
going to say
out and I'm like,
Deathloop.
is it that much, really?
Deathloop just feels like the kind of game that we all would enjoy, but
Okay.
didn't.
I think the marketing
I
on it.
love Arcane.
Hey.
and it's
Yeah, and Arcane's
I want to
awesome,
play
and-
It Takes Two. So, like, when you go, oh, it's the kind of game that you want to play, and like, literally want to play It Takes Two.
That was my second option, but I'm sticking
All right,
with Deathloop.
Deathloop. We're going Deathloop?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, good.
Okay.
Category 15. Only 2 more categories to go. Category 15. Biggest Don't Forget Me games. Games that didn't get a nom-nom, but are worth giving a shout out. The nominees are, and last year's winner was Ghost of Tsushima, which is shameful.
no.
The nominees this year are Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139... Halo Infinite, and Resident Evil 4 VR. This is an interesting category, this one, actually.
Well, you guys wanted to pick a winner, so I'll let you guys go first.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Guardians of the Galaxy. We
I
haven't
knew
really
you were
talked
gonna
about
say
it.
that.
Well, because it's a great game. You know, I'm playing it at the moment. It's still fresh in my memory. It got quite a bit of praise in the community, but you know, from us, it didn't get what it deserved.
I was going to say Resident
Right.
Evil 4 VR, which, like a whole new spin on, you know, one of the games that a lot of people consider as the greatest game of all time.
Oh,
so-
absolutely. But I also feel like I couldn't give it to something that I didn't play yet. So, yeah, that's me.
You say that.
You guys?
I think Halo Infinite because it's arguably. I don't know. You could argue something else, but I think it's the biggest release of the year. And
Yeah, I
we
agree.
haven't nominated for anything.
Yeah, I guess
and
that's true. That's
The
true.
multiplayer is awesome, dude. I've played the multiplayer.
Yeah.
The single player, I'm not the biggest fan of single player Halo. So maybe I should be the Halo hater now. We've all had a go at the Halo hater. But the multiplayer is friggin' awesome. I would play that. No one wants to play it in our group. But I would friggin' play that every night. It's
Not
super
into
good.
competitive
I
multiplayer.
have.
Sorry.
I have. There's like a little tiny spark that at some point will erupt and I'll play it. I
Well,
just
let me know.
haven't.
Let me know.
Just I'm too time poor.
Hey, I trademarked that.
So we're saying Halo Infinite then, and the one that you all waited for hours
All
to
right.
hear.
All right.
We've never done this really.
No,
'cause
we haven't. This is going to be
Animal Crossing
interesting.
didn't count.
No, and I
That
wouldn't
was
have
just the biggest
voted
game that
for that.
moved the needle, which it did. But this is different.
did.
This year, we are saying it's the big one. It's the big one. It's the big week in gaming's biggest game of the year. Game of the year. And we have 6 nominees to match you, Jeff. Damn you, Jeff. Even though you made us official comb streamers. The 6 nominees are Cyberpunk 2077, asterisk, Resident Evil Village, Unpacking, Metroid Dread, Monster Hunter Rise, and Tales of Arise.
Before
So we
get
have
into
included
anything,
Cyberpunk 2077
Okay.
because it released so late last year. So
I am actually going to call an audible and suggest we remove one of these.
oh
nominees.
Hmm.
Go
I
on.
thought it'd be funny to do it on the show when it hit you.
Dun, dun, dun. Which
Go on.
one?
I think we need to replace Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Integot didn't even have it in his list.
I said I'm happy to remove it.
I didn't know you didn't have it in your list. So I reckon we need to put something else in, and I reckon that thing should be Ender Lilies. We all played it. We all loved it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. The thumbnail's wrong, but I don't care.
All right. Can we eliminate some?
Swerved.
I feel like we can. Look, Unpacking was awesome. Really enjoyed it. I don't feel like it will be game of the year for me.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
And I
yeah,
think I put it
yeah.
in there.
Like, it'd be quaint if we said Unpacking's the game of the year, but I don't think it's genuine. And we're all about being genuine here.
I'll tell you, before we get too far into this, the game of the year that's been picked by all the major publications this year has been wild. That most of them have been different. Like
that's
it's
true.
really cool.
It's crazy this year. Like I think what was it? The one there was a game that just won. Anyway, I'll look it up, and it was just I was shocked by it. I'll look up. What
But
it
do you
was.
think
It was
that's a
on
bit of marketing, though, Swinny?
Reddit.
Being a bit cynical as I am.
Just they'll be different. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's right. So Time Magazine of the year chose Metroid Dread as their game of the year. Which I was like, well, that just feels weird. But anyway.
It doesn't feel
It's
weird
just
to me,
here.
by the way.
Weird.
Doesn't
No,
feel
but weird
to
the
me.
fact that like I was like expecting everything else has been different, you know?
Well, can I flip it? Do you feel like you guys just know what the answer is?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Swinny,
No,
do you
for
I
feel-
don't,
me.
I don't know.
I know what it is for
answers.
me. I don't know what it is
No,
as a group.
for all of us. Like,
No,
you're saying
I
no.
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's a tough
for
one,
us.
honestly. This
Tough one.
tough one.
Can I just say what mine is?
Well, you want to lobby? Do we all want to lobby for a game?
Okay, yeah, let's lobby for a game,
All
and then
right,
we can
You
discuss.
go.
I'm gonna lobby for Cyberpunk 2077. Well, it is to me. It was the big this year was the biggest game that I played. It was the most immersive game that I played. I loved the experience, unlike a lot of other people, I guess. You know, I played Resident Evil Village, enjoyed it, but I wasn't really drawn into it as much. Wasn't drawn into the world. Certainly didn't put the shit ton of hours that I put into Cyberpunk 2077. Unpacking, fantastic game. As we said, love the journey, but I don't know if it's something that I could really genuinely say was game of the year. Metroid Dread was fantastic. Really, really loved it. But at the same time, I don't know, it just left me wanting something more out of it, and I don't know what. Ender Lilies was really cool, but again, not really game of the year stuff. And Tales of Arise I haven't played yet. Or maybe that would have been game of the year. So really, genuinely, I have to give it to Cyberpunk, because to me, it was by far the biggest, most awesome game that I played.
Mm.
So, yeah, what are
Interesting.
you?
You're waiting for me to, aren't you?
No.
Whatever
I'm
you guys-
thinking.
There you go if you want.
Can I just say, like, I do not think Cyberpunk should be punished to the point where it can't be considered game of the year. Like, I'll say that as the opening gambit, right? But you cannot extract the launch and the fuck around and the updates and the mucking around and the experience from that game. You have to include
You have
it.
to,
Sorry,
but
you have to, right?
the problem, if I could call it that,
I'll let you.
I didn't have a problem with any of that stuff,
I'll
though.
let you talk.
Okay.
Let me go.
Go.
This is my cross-examination.
Sorry, I'm gonna go make some popcorn.
I feel that, you know, you just can't go past it. And I don't, and look, I haven't played it, right? So we need to get that out there. But
Well,
from what I understand,
Your
even
Honor,
from
he
you,
hasn't even played the game. How dare he comment on it?
even from what I hear from you, it's not like a revolutionary game. It's not like completely blowing you away or anything, right? And I feel like that combined with its launch and it's still dicking around to this day, right? Like there's still missed timelines and everything, still being really shady with what they're saying CDPR. I just don't feel like it's becoming of the podcast to have it as the game of the year. Whereas I think that Ender Lilies, it's kind of an interesting, you know, thing if we went down that route. It was a very cool game, very cool art style. No one talks about it. It's gonna be like a bit of a cult classic.
Look,
And
so
I'd be leaning more on that.
So two things for me. Number one, I need to justify why I have 3 collector's editions of Cyberpunk. So somehow I need to justify that purchase.
You want to pump the pricing.
Secondly, I'm trying to pump the pricing back up, okay?
Or versions they'll never fix, by the way. You'll never get it running on those consoles.
You want to be able to stick a Game of the Year sticker on them to sell them.
Yeah, I just need to...
You can go into their dev team, right? Where it goes, oh, the team that's working on the base console versions of PS4 and Xbox One, and it's just a hamster on a wheel because they're not doing anything with that.
Would have been hilarious if they permanently pulled the PS4 version.
They should have. It should never have been released on it.
So literally, the physical disc is worth nothing. You can't do anything with it. No, so look, all jokes aside, to me, it's which game had the biggest impact, which game was the most memorable, which game did I enjoy the most, sink the most amount of time into, and it's undeniably Cyberpunk 2077 for me.
Swinny, we need to hear from you on this one.
Oh, this is tough. Let's tackle Cyberpunk right off the bat. Cyberpunk is one of the best games I've played this year. It is one of the best games I've played in a long time. I also played it post major patches. I just can't, with any conscience, say that it should be Game of the Year because of what you said, integot. And it, for me, as a video game, I think Cyberpunk has been dealt a really bad hand and is very undervalued as a video game as a consequence. But when you connect it to how bad of a state it was, as you said, how much CDPR lied, and specifically those base console versions, which they sold on a retail shelf that were not worthy of being a release, I can't choose that as Game of the Year, as much as it pains me because I love the game and I love the story. Like, that game, to me, got absolutely snubbed by not getting a nomination for narrative for Game of the Game Awards, but I understand why they didn't. So I can't choose Cyberpunk, Mike. Even though I love the game.
That's fine. Hey,
even though I love the game.
That's perfectly fine.
We've got the communist block voting against you.
So I
You're
almost
being sandwiched
think,
on top and bottom.
I almost think we can mark that one off.
It's dead. It's dead to me.
Cyberpunk.
Well, hang on. What if we all end up with a different one? Then we're back to the start.
No, I'm not voting for Cyberpunk, man.
In terms of the remaining games, I've played all of them except Resident Evil Village. To different degrees. I haven't played as much Ender Lilies as I would like. And I haven't played as much Metroid Dread as I would have liked, although I've played a lot of it. Obviously, out of the remaining, I would obviously vote for Tales of Arise. It's not going to win our Game of the Year because
sell us on Tales. Sell us.
It's hard to, honestly. I think you have to really be into that kind of game, the action JRPGs, to probably really for it to click with you. I don't think it's much more accessible than previous Tales games. I do prefer Tales of Vesperia, but that's also because it's just there's something special about that game. Tales of Rise is absolutely beautiful. It's one of the best looking games I've ever played, and it even looks great on older consoles. And I played through the game twice as well. That's, obviously I did that for achievements, but I was happy to as well because it is an awesome game. It's just a shame that the last 1/6 part of the game does fall off, and I think that almost makes it to me, it's like it's not worthy of being Game of the Year because of that. So I reckon it's between the remaining 4.
Bum, bum,
So what are we doing?
bum.
Let's not mark unpacking off completely yet.
Yeah, I agree. If we land on unpacking, that
You know
would be
what?
pretty crazy.
I'm voting for unpacking. There you go. Unpacking it is. I enjoyed it.
I
Played
feel
on
like
multiple
it can't be
platforms.
Resident Evil
Girlfriend
Village.
played it as well.
It can't be Resident Evil Village because it's too much of the same, man.
Well, I also think, can we, in good conscience, vote for things that we haven't played? Like, I
If
can't.
there's a
vote-
compelling case for it, yeah.
I think so.
So do you want
I
to make a
guess, yeah,
compelling
like-
case for Resident Evil Village or not?
Probably.
No, I'm trying to think long and hard whether I could legitimately give it Game of the Year. Look, it's up there. It was in my top games, absolutely.
And unpacking was as well.
Good narrative, excellent gameplay, good most things, but no, I can't convince you guys of that.
Wow, so our 3 remaining options is unpacking, Metroid Dread, and Ender Lilies. What a shock. I love it. It's great.
Because we should say to the audience, we haven't like spoke about how we're even going to process this.
Nope.
No,
It's kind of why we didn't do it
Winging
last
it.
year. As
That's
well.
the best part. It's great. It's my favorite part of it all. It's like Game of Summer here.
You know, I love Metroid Dread. I've said it's my favorite game of the year, but I also, and it's funny because it's like, in a way, it's so executed just so well, that game, right? And look, I play a lot of those Metroidvania games and Metroid itself. I did not find it like a traditional Metroid game in the sense that you get lost every now and then. Like, it felt extremely linear to me. And you know, like the Game Maker's Toolkit, I think the way that he covered it was exactly how I felt about the game. It's like the game gave you shortcuts when it was like, and it really corralled you in a lot of ways. Like, it was different than other Metro games in that way. I just like, there's
Yeah, I never
something,
got stuck.
like about it that wasn't quite magical. I really loved it. Like, and I would rank it very highly in the Metroid pantheon, like the 2D Metroids, but I don't know, man. Like, there's something about it. Could I give it Game of the Year? Like, I feel like I'm giving it Game of the Year. Like, overall, it's like, you know, I don't know. It's almost like it's too fanboyish or something. Like, I feel like even I know that the bias that I have when I'm saying that. Super Metroid is my favorite game of all time. But yeah.
All right, can I ask you a question, Integot? Is there any game in this 6 that you're as passionate about as I'm passionate for Tales of Arise and Mike's as passionate as Cyberpunk?
Say the question again. What do you mean?
Mike's passionate about Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
I'm passionate about Tales of Arise more than any of the other games
Yeah.
here.
Well, I'm
Is there
passionate about.
any-
I'm definitely passionate about. Well, I said Metroid Dread's my favorite game of the year.
Oh, okay. So, but then you were going and ah about it.
No, but
so
it's
that's what I'm
more just
saying. I
like,
wasn't. I didn't
like-
hear you say that last part. Then
No,
so.
because it's like, for me, it's like this is from my lens. I mostly play Switch games. I play other things. I've got a PS5, you know, but like I know that I'm biased. It's not a Switch game of the year. It's game of the year. You know what I mean?
You said it was missing something magical or something. You said something like that. Like,
Yeah.
you seemed like you were doubting that.
Well, like
So-
that I kind of like, there's ingredients that make sense to me, but then if I look at it like from your lens, Swinny, it's like you might just go, it's a good game, but it's not like a 10 out of 10 or anything like that, or anything close to that, you know?
Man, I
Fair
just
enough.
find it funny that I tend to be the least consistent person, yet I'm the only consistent one that's like, yeah, Cyberpunk was my favorite game. Yep, definitely game of the year for me as well.
Yeah, but you're like, you're just like,
He was like, oh yeah, fucking Metroid Dread. Oh, definitely not top game of the year. And then freaking 10 minutes later, oh no, I can't vote for that. I don't think it's a good game anymore.
I didn't say that it's, you idiot.
Oh, I
All
love
right,
this
come
so
on,
much.
Let's round it out.
Okay, let's talk Ender Lilies.
Oh, okay.
I think Ender Lilies deserves a good chance at this because we all loved it. Now, it has the benefit of being, other than Metroid Dread and Unpack, well, actually, all 3 of those games we've all played,
Yeah.
right? But I know that we all felt we felt very strongly about that game. Honestly, I feel more strongly about Ender Lilies than I do Metroid Dread. and I've actually played less of Ender Lilies.
Oh, interesting.
No, I love
think-
Ender
I actually-
Lilies. I did
I- yeah,
everything in that game.
I actually think it is a better game, although Metro Dread there's parts of it I love, but it's tough for me to talk too closely to Metro Dread because I haven't completed it, but I'd say based on what I kind of assume, I'm probably like 90% of the way through the game.
I'm the same, yeah.
Oh yeah, you would have seen enough of the game.
But Ender Lilies just had something magical about it that I loved. And I've kind of cursed myself that I haven't gone back to it because I've just had too many shiny things and I'm like, oh man, I really need to get back to that game, especially when you guys went and you reviewed it. And I'm like, oh man, so out of the rest of these games, I feel the strongest about Ender Lilies out of the remaining 3 that we've kind of still got on the
I feel like it has become a process of elimination.
Well,
And it's
yeah.
like, I'm just now going, okay, unpacking versus Ender Lilies. Unpacking, very cool. Like to what you guys have said, it's true. Like you do random stuff around your house and you think about the game a little bit. Like, oh, I want to pack it this way or like move it around. But I must admit with unpacking, I sort of played it. I think I played it in one go. It was like
Yeah, same.
for a couple of hours or whatever, and it was pretty much done.
multiple
And I
platforms.
deleted it.
See, I was the opposite. I played it over time in multiple
Okay.
sessions, but that's just because it was just we play things differently.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, it's and I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but it's kind of like a good one-trick pony. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, cool, nice, and executed well, and I didn't overstay its welcome, which I liked. But I just like, overall compared to Ender Lilies, where the art, the sound, the music design, the story, just, the difficulty, like it was just hard enough. Like, like the final boss and everything, Mike, it's not easy to get through. Some people are quit, like trying to beat it. And I like that. It's tough. I can't go past Ender Lilies if it's between Ender Lilies and unpacking for me personally.
I would echo all those thoughts.
So what does that mean, Swinny?
I think it means Ender Lilies is Big Wig's 2021 Game of the Year, and I don't
Sounds
think there's
like it.
any. No, but I find it funny that we didn't have it in there.
Yeah, no, that's the
Yeah.
best side of it.
when I
Sneaky game.
when I was thinking about it, and I'm like, and I looked through and I noticed you didn't have Monster Hunter Rise, and then I noticed Ender Lilies. I'm like, wait, that seems like I didn't have it in my list, right? But I didn't do that because I felt I hadn't played enough of it. That's why I actually didn't even really kind of include it. Also, I wanted to do a joke about RPGs, and that's not really an RPG. I think that is a very worthy winner. Honestly,
I think so too. Well, that was like a very unexpected. Let's say.
For a podcast where we're all obsessed with Metroidvanias, I think and Souls games, I think Ender
That's so
Lilies is actually
surprising.
a perfect microcosm of that podcast.
It actually is. You're right. It was a really cool game.
Okay,
I
Ender
love it.
Lilies Quietest of the Night is our game of the year. Now, hey, when they do their physical box release, they can literally put Game of the Year on it now. And we're
Yeah,
going, what the fuck, Game of the
We
Year?
should let them know.
Ender
We should,
Lilies?
we
And
should
then they're gonna
tweet
go-
at.
Exactly.
We should tweet at them that we gave them
Yeah.
Game of the Year.
Yeah, and then they go through it all and they go, oh, as a process of elimination, all these other games come and we didn't have it in
Like,
the original list.
We
We feel
were.
great about ourselves.
I think that is just the fact that we're horrible at what we do, not the fact
Yeah, but
that
also-
any it was malpractice, not like on purpose,
But how else do people do it? I mean, when the Game Awards, they're not transparent processes. This is as transparent as it gets. No planning. We didn't talk about this beforehand. I mean, look, we planned a lot, as in the spreadsheet that he did and everything. That a lot of thinking went into that stuff. But we did not talk about who was going to be the winner. So you saw this live. You saw the live process of judges debating how they come up with the Game of the Year. So
But we all know Cyberpunk 2077
Wow,
is the
of course
true
we all know
hardcore
that.
game
What?
as
No.
Game of the Year.
I'll make fake bloody.
Do you want to change it? No. But what I will
No
say
changing.
is, this is what I was going to say it, but then I've learned enough in my career to, you don't sell after the close. You don't sell after the close, right? But I was going to say Cyberpunk 2077 hasn't had its redemption arc fulfilled yet. And
Correct.
when it does, I think people can look back and go, it should have been Game of the Year in 2020 or 2021.
Well, I already called it. I called it.
No,
I called
but
it,
it
but no, listen
hasn't
to
had
me.
its redemption arc yet, you Halo hater. So, Big Wig Big week in gaming officially adorns Ender Lily's Quietest of the Night game of the year.
Yes.
Yes. All right. That was a big